Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wrestling Art with Chris Things.
Ray! Do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock! Ray! Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks! Yeah, do the hammerlock! I do the hammerlock!
Hi there, friends. Fancy seeing you here. You've stumbled onto another edition of Wrestling Art with Chris Things. I am Chris Things Bryan, your host, wrestling art dude, and I have quite a few matches to talk about this week. Yeah, you've got to our Match of the Week edition. After a little bit of a drought last week, we're making up for it with 3 matches that we have to talk about. So 3 matches that were my favourite thing that I happened to watch each of those weeks, enough that I did an art of it. You can check out said art at Chris Things on the Instagram if you haven't already seen it. But 3 tremendous matches. 3, I guess one of them is very different than the other 2. So we've got one of the most brutal Japanese wrestling matches in history, and 2 fucking delightful lucha libre encounters of the more contemporary nature. But they were all great, and we're going to get all into that with returning Jaims Vanderbeek in a few moments. So got that to look forward to. In the meantime, this is what's become our what's going on in the world of Chris Things intro segment. I had my friend Richard reach out the other day, and he mentioned that he really enjoyed my solo edition last week, which I really appreciated. I didn't plan this thing out, just is what it is. But he mentioned that the start bit for him is kind of like the late show monologue to start the show before they get into the guest part, which tickled me so much because I used to love Letterman back in the day. I used to watch it pretty well every night. Clearly, as a teenager, I did not have a lot going on in my social life, I guess. But no, so that felt like a big compliment. So I guess in my mind, this is kind of like meant to be a less entertaining version of that. But I appreciate everyone who listens. If you do, if you skip ahead, I'm not offended. It's what it is. But so this week, on from last week, quite a significant one again. So last week I mentioned, I've gotten on to bring in my art table and my art wares along to the Australian Mexican wrestling shows. So Lucha Fantastica, I was lucky enough to do their Brisbane show the other week. And I had such a great time. It was just amazing, and then so great that I was like, you know what, let's do it again. Let's do the Sydney show. So that led to quite an exciting development in my first ever interstate, art in-person tabling event, I guess you'd call it. And it was a little bit scary, to be honest. Just insofar as, it's like I'm buying flights for this thing. I have to get to Sydney. It's only like an hour and a half flight, but getting to Sydney and then having to find an actual physical table that I can get for the event, and all of the little bits and pieces along the way. But I want to say a massive thank you to my brother from another mother, one of my best friends of many years, Josh, my former tag team partner from back in the day, who was lovely enough to put me up when I was in Sydney. These things, I'll level with you. I don't make a lot of money on these events. I'm happy with every one of the sales that I get, honestly, but it's not exactly a cash cow situation where I can be staying at 5-star hotels and such just yet. So that kind of thing where, I'm able to save a few bucks. But, then in addition to that, he was just nice enough to drive me to the show to go get that table, and honestly was like such a lifesaver for the weekend. So that was just lovely. But then the event itself was so much fun. I can't tell you how great an experience these Lucha Fantastica shows are. Señor Fantastico puts together an amazing show. I think the best part of it is that it's not necessarily targeted towards a wrestling fan audience. It's more like a show towards people that just want to go out and do something fun and weird on a Saturday night. It's kind of like almost like a cabaret kind of show. There's a lot of great kind of like humorous elements to it, and just as an entertaining show, it's such a great time. So I had a great event for that. It was so great to meet everyone, to chat to everyone, to make some new friends, and to just celebrate the beautiful wonder of Mexican wrestling together over many VBs. One moment that I do want to make sure to bring attention to was there was a dude at the evening show who was mentioning to the guys when we first saw him. He was wearing like a big Mexican cowboy hat kind of deal. I think this is maybe a mariachi hat. I don't know. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone here. And a poncho. And then the next time we saw him, he seemed to be wearing jeans or something. And the next time we saw him from behind, the jeans were gone, and he had like wrestling trunks on and wrestling boots. And I remember remarking, I was like, did his pants just disappear? And then the next time we saw him, the poncho was gone, and he had an amazing I don't know, like S&M kind of gear going on. It blew my mind. It was fantastic. Big, beautiful, bushy moustache, celebrating everything about body positivity. And I had to get a photo with this gentleman. I did. I posted it to my Instagram, and afterwards he actually came over for a little chat, and this is the best part. So we were talking about it, and he said, mate, I know maybe some people don't want to see this, but I'm just here having a good time, I honestly, I didn't have a very good week, so doing this kind of thing, wearing this outfit, it just kind of like, it makes me happy, and then maybe I can make other people happy, and that's, and man, I heard this and I was like, that is just the most fucking beautiful, like, lovely, delightful little story. Because I'm like, yeah, he honestly, I think, is just bringing positivity into people's lives with this outfit, and I just think it's such a great thing. So that was just lovely. And then the whole event was so good. So I am stoked to be next up doing the big Melbourne show coming up on the day before Cinco de Mayo. Very much looking forward to that one. And I've also got another little event that I'm doing this Saturday at a bouldering venue. I'm not sure if that many of you are familiar with bouldering. It's kind of like the rock climbing thing where you're just kind of more going sideways and climbing the real skill challenge kind of deals. But yeah, there's like a little makers market going on there in Morningside, Brisbane. So very much looking forward to that one again. I guess this is my life now. I just bring my little art table to everywhere that will have me. And I sell my art prints. I have some originals with me. I sell some shirts. And more importantly, I just, I'm meeting people. I'm pushing my art to be out there. And I'm doing my best to try to make this a full-time living. That's where I'm at right now. I'm quite excited about it, to be honest. So who knows where it'll go. Hopefully I can just be at all sorts of weird and wonderful places. But I think that's about enough of that. I am very enthused to throw over to our triple header, triple main event edition of our match of the week. Take it away, guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to have our esteemed semi-frequent co-host on the line, the extra newsworthy gentleman at the moment,
Hell.
Mr. Jaims Vanderbeek. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, man. Things have been weird the last couple of days, to say the least. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to discuss some wrestling and watch a match that I should have watched quite a bit ago. But yeah, I appreciate it for all of those things. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, you're very welcome, dude. Yeah, we have quite some momentous matches to discuss this week. Some would say you don't want to jam this many high-quality matches all in one viewing. But what do people know, you know?
Yeah. Who are those people who specifically said that? Because then they might not be watching more than 3 wrestling matches in a day. Because golly, friend, sometimes you watch a wrestling show and each of those matches within it are quite spectacular. So 3 matches seems fairly reasonable for any human being, right?
I think so. I mean, I might even be one of those people, to be honest. Like, sometimes there's like a point where you're just like, I can't properly absorb how amazing this is with how much other stuff I've just absorbed. Like, kind of the mode that I would get into. I remember some of those, like the Battle of Los Angeleses that we've been to, and you're just seeing so much incredible wrestling over 3 days, where you just kind of get numb to it in a weird way.
Oh, that I'll agree with. As I was saying, the thing about never being too much good wrestling, or people don't normally get overworked by watching or get overrun by watching a bunch of good wrestling together. Those Bola fucking shows were arduous at times.
Man, I mean, always an amazing time, and I wouldn't change anything to miss a second of it. But
Sunday,
gosh.
Sometimes later in the tournament on Sunday, you're like, fuck, man, I've seen this guy wrestle 3 times.
Yeah. I remember seeing like some bloody incredible like Dragon Lee versus I don't know if it was Bailey or someone amazing, but like just one of those top tier. Maybe not
Speedball.
Yes, Speedball.
Oh, that's a good idea for Photoshop. I gotta do Speedball, Mike, and then Bailey. What the fuck? I've been slacking. Write that one down.
Maybe you could give Mike Bailey some sort of bodacious butt for the reference. I don't know.
That would likely be the plan. Big booty Bailey.
Big booty Bailey. Oh man.
But yeah, the match I liked the most of the stuff we watched was definitely the New Japan match. And as I'm watching that match, I'm like, man, if American wrestling wasn't so much funner to make fun of, and if I just wanted to watch wrestling for really good wrestling, I should just stick to old New Japan.
Yeah, right. Man, I mean, this is a wild combo. So for all of our listeners playing at home, we're doing the triple header today of my last 3 matches that were my favorite thing that I watched in each of those weeks. The first being the infamous Kazuchika Okada versus Katsuyori Shibata match. Shibata going for the big IWGP Heavyweight Championship main event of a massive sumo hall show, and the match that would result in Shibata no longer being able to wrestle and potentially no longer being able to live with the things that happened in this match.
Man, they removed his brain at one point, I believe.
Exactly.
It's fucking shit is crazy.
Man, wild. And then we went on to the famed first ever confrontation between Blue Panther and his Yave Maestro idol. The other way around. Danielson's Yave Maestro idol in Blue Panther in the form of a CMLL All-Stars or Blue Panther and Friends, however you want to approach it there, versus the Blackpool Combat Club and guest member Matt Seidel in a tremendous bout. And then the match that would lead on to the following week, the main event of the next week's big Friday night Arena Mexico show, the big Mano a Mano match between Danielson and Blue Panther. So a lot of great wrestling all in one. First thoughts is sometimes I find it tricky, and I think I said this to you to start with, right? It's hard to go from Japanese wrestling to Mexican wrestling. I mean, I find I can go the other way, but doing that way, there's some part that I feel like it's I don't know, it doesn't feel quite right. How did you go with that?
I disregarded your advice entirely.
Rightfully so.
Not intentionally by any means. It's just when, out of the things you sent me, it was the one clip that I could watch without having to do any logging into anything. So it was the path of least resistance in this case.
Yes.
But the New Japan match was so crazy and awesome and just fucking epic that it did kind of make it hard to get super jazzed about the other stuff, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
Nonetheless.
I think part of it for me is like, I think there's a weird grounds with Lucha Libre where it's obviously not as hard hitting as a lot of other wrestling, but you're watching it and you're just like, there's a different part of your brain that it excites, so you're just kind of like, well, it's just lucha, and like you don't mind that stuff as much. But when you're just coming from watching one of the most hard-hitting matches of all time, probably exacerbates it a little bit, I guess.
Legitimately, well, I know I say this a lot when I talk to you just because you pick a lot of good stuff, but it was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just so good. And before we get into that, do you want to address the thing you mentioned earlier about me being newsworthy? Should that be
yes, for sure. But I 100% agree with you on that being one of the greatest matches of all time, though. Just I want to make sure I say that. I'm right there with you. One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Holy shit. Fucking top notch.
But so addressing the elephant in the room here. So for our players at home who may not have known, a ridiculous sequence of events,
or who do not know me at all, really.
Well, if they don't, they should be following you. They should be keeping up on this.
Craziness,
man. But
so I got dumped recently, Chris.
Sorry to hear it, my friend. It's a
man.
Shitty
That's what
time.
spurned all of this nonsense. All of this nonsense spurned because of this. Ridiculous.
And it fucking sucks, man. And I, on that front, I remember one of the last episodes or last couple episodes that we did of the Old Grown Men Watch This Shit podcast. And I actually listened back to some of them when I was sort of getting this new show sort of like up and going and trying to get back into that kind of like podcast mindset. And I was like, it was listening to my voice. I was so like bummed out and hating life and even hating a lot of the wrestling, at that time I'd hear in my voice because I was, just going through a breakup as well at that time. And it is nuts how much it can just like fucking like affect your life in such a massive way and make you not enjoy the things that you like loved,
Yep. I started to kind of hate wrestling for a minute because it seemed like that was maybe one of the things that she didn't care for, and my obsession with it maybe annoyed her. I'm not sure. But because it happened, I decided to jump on an airplane at the advisement of my friends who actually went out of their way to pay for my plane ticket. And I went all the way to Philly and had a great time, went to a bunch of shows, came back, and I had such a good time, but I really was just kind of totally ignoring the situation back here at home. So when I got back, it kind of kicked me in the ass again. And I was discussing that and telling about how bummed out I was and how I gave what I thought was my best shot, and even maybe doing some bargaining that I may have lived to regret later. But just essentially doing anything to save the relationship. And
But I mean, dude, before I just want to make sure to give you props. I think it is fucking awesome, and bloody commendable. The fact that like you are like brave and brazen enough to be comfortable to sort of like talk about that stuff in like I mean obviously like a public forum that is a lot of the cesspool of Twitter, but more so just kind of like being open to talk about that stuff to other people, because it's obviously something that's like affected you in a big way. And I think a lot of people kind of like bottle this stuff up and they like don't. So I think the fact that you were like open and vulnerable, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position with that kind of thing, and I think that takes balls, man. So I just want to give you props on that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. The original plan was to just bottle and not discuss it and just try to even maybe pretend that it wasn't hurting me as much as it was. And I felt that was dishonest and not respecting the relationship that I legitimately cared about. So I decided to forego that route. And one of the things I worried about is a thing that Alicia, my ex, found maybe irritating with me is my consistent online lifestyle. I know that's fucking... It is true. I'm totally online all the time. I way too much probably, but I do a lot of stuff and make, I've done business and made money off of creating internet stuff. So
yeah,
double-edged sword. So she may even think my being so honest was just an attempt to get additional likes, which it wasn't. I just wanted to share with my friends, and I needed support because I was really going through it. So anyway, to continue on the weirdness that occurred after that, because me getting dumped doesn't sound so weird. But anyway, I tweeted about this, and the other day, out of nowhere, AEW owner Tony Khan sends me a tweet telling me, "Hey man, you're on the verge of a comeback. Things will get better," essentially. And
just so lovely. Like
such a nice
I
dude.
saw that and I was like, what a wild world it is. But like that is just so fucking nice. And like whatever criticism some people might have for Tony, like you could not say that he is a bloody sweetheart of a guy when it gets down to it. I loved it.
Yeah. At first I saw a bunch of my notifications were going off, and I'm like, well, what did I do that was funny? Let me check this out. And it was not me being funny. It was Tony being nice. So I said, holy shit, thanks, Tony. That's really cool. That's awesome. And I went about my day. Everyone's, putting Tony over, saying how great he is, and other people deciding to take the opportunity to troll me about my dumping. But that only was a couple people. So shockingly enough, just a few. But anyway, continued about my day. The next day, I see that Ringside News had run an article about Tony Khan reaching out to a fan who, despite his valiant effort, has lost everything in life.
That fucking headline, dude. That headline. What the fuck?
My friends sent to me in the group chat and what's that? They're like, Jeremy, you've made news, but what is up with this headline? They're dragging you, bro. And I'm like, because the tweet that Tony responded to, I said essentially, man, I lost my girlfriend, my best friend, who was my girlfriend, my home, and my dog, because I had a pair of dogs with my girlfriend, but really she paid for one, I paid for the other. So you'd think, the dogs go with whoever paid for them. So I'm losing my dog Bebop. And I said, it's like I'm living a country song. And yeah, they apparently took that as me saying my entire life had been taken away from me, and I had nothing left, and that Tony Khan essentially saved my life with positive words. Yeah. Except for the kind words of a billionaire. It really brought me through. So yeah, now I'm really milking it for all it's worth. Thanking Tony for saving my life, and he's actually replied back to me a couple more times in
Aww.
meme forms. He's hilarious. I'm gonna try to milk this thing to maybe get in that Tacoma show for free, or shake that man's hand for being such a nice guy.
Bloody do it. Man,
But so weird that I
wild.
was news. Everyone was flipping out like, you're news, and other people like got really upset on my behalf, saying like they were taking advantage of me at my low point and kind of making fun of me in a way. But I didn't take it as that. Maybe that's what they were going for. I just found the headline to make it the most hilarious thing. Like, I've lost everything. What the fuck?
Who comes up with this shit? I mean, I guess like being in the business of wrestling website headlines, like you're used to adding a bit of bombastic hyperbole to these kind of things, but still.
And they are the worst. Ringside News is literally one of the dirt worst. The guy who runs it is the one who gets drunk and starts saying all kinds of crazy shit. He got arrested. His name is Stephen Carrier. He's a total joke. But yeah, them using me as a headline fodder is one of the greatest in a series of events. It's just one of the greatest things that ever happened to me on Twitter. It's fucking tremendous.
Dude, I was serious when I said, like, fucking screen grab that, print that shit out, frame it, like...
So good.
Oh my gosh, what a time. And then like you get like those fucking I mean, I never had a big problem before with the tribalistic kind of shit that people often complain about with the war between the AEW fans and the WWE fans. Like, if anything, most of the time it's just kind of like entertaining to watch the bickering go on. But it just hit a next level when you really see the vitriol of these sad motherfuckers attacking someone's like life, because they're like, oh, this is something that some people could perceive as being a positive thing about Tony Khan. We've got to now like fucking dredge it down and make it like, I don't even understand it, man.
Yeah, there was a couple guys who jumped in and like just took it as an opportunity to attack Tony and not even mention the thread and the point of what was going on. It's just like, geez, dude, can you be normal for just a fucking day, please? Give it a fucking break.
Yeah, I'm like, are these those like online like paid trolls that Tony had talked about a while ago?
Yeah.
Like, they're just purely there to like drive up negative engagement or whatever. Fuck.
You know what? While it does sound crazy, but knowing that there are troll farms to places, like, he might not be too far off. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, but
dude, I wouldn't
it does
be
sound
shocked
bananas.
at all. If,
He's my new best friend, so I'm agreeing with him. You know what I mean? He's my new pal.
Yeah, you guys are tight.
Yeah, Tony Khan consoles person who lost everything in life despite valiant efforts. It's the greatest series of words, and it's talking about me. Oh my god.
Man, I'm just envisioning like a meme of like you and Tony on one of those like double bicycles, like where you're like riding together.
A bicycle built for two. I believe they're called a tandem bicycle if we're gonna get tandem.
Yes, that is the word I was
I think all tag teams should ride them. They should.
Absolutely. Oh man, what a week.
Enough about me.
Dude,
man.
I'm stoked that we get to talk to you about it, like about it's just such a bizarre thing to happen to a person,
Yeah, a billionaire says good on you, you'll make it through, and then a news site or I'll add news with a Z news site decides, hey, this is press worthy. I guess it was a slow day.
It's tremendous. Overall, tremendous. Love
Indeed.
it. But so now we have the graps to talk about, and being three kind of matches in 1 week. I'm thinking we're probably like maybe going to go a little bit more broad strokes than we have in other weeks in an effort for this podcast to not go for 2 hours. But we'll see how we go. But I mean, so our first cab off the rank, we have again the match I mentioned previously, a match that resulted in a man's brain being taken out of his head, worked on, and I guess put in a washing machine or something, scrubbed up, popped back in, cap goes on, wham bam, thank you, man.
That's what they mean by brainwashing. Before we really get into this, the site you gave me to watch this it had a intervening commercials at different intervals.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm using both of those words. And one of them was this weird commercial where it starts with, "It's time to do the kitchen dance," and then everyone starts doing this weird dance in the kitchen. It was really obnoxious, but it happened multiple times, and I eventually started to love it. But anyway, let's continue.
Sounds delightful. I mean, I recommend everyone watch it on the official channels of New Japan World.
Oh wait, you didn't send me that link. I found that shit. I totally threw you under the bus.
No.
Chris pirated it for me.
I am a current subscriber of New Japan World, begrudgingly so. I actually accidentally let it run over at the end of the month, to be honest. But it makes things easier sometimes. But you mean
you can't get rid of it, and they give you a what's it called? A prorated sum of your fee?
I know Amazon Prime does that. I've forgotten to cancel that before, and then I cancelled later and was happily surprised. But no, I don't think the Japanese sites do that.
Bastards.
But man, this was a heck of a match to finally watch. Shibata versus Okada. In that, I spoke a little bit about it on a previous episode with Josh, but I put off watching this match for like 5 years. Because when it originally happened, obviously a lot of people were talking about it as the incredible match that it was, but also, it was very front of mind that Shibata may die as a result of this. And it ended his career for many, many years. We thought he was never going to come back, or never probably should have, is what a lot of people thought. And I, that whole situation was very close to home for me, because I'm not making out my wrestling career was anything special, but it was something that brought me a lot of happiness of doing and being in that scene and being in the locker rooms and everything that goes with it. And I had to stop because of concussion issues. So it wasn't kind of like a decision for me to make. It was kind of taken out of my hands. The sports doctors were like, you really shouldn't do this anymore. And so then it was just done. So I think I'm still sort of only finally coming to terms with that and being around more, local wrestling shows and doing the Lucha Fantastica stuff that I'm doing at the moment, and still being able to have fun and be around it. But yeah, it was a sore point for a long time, and I think that was part of what stopped me from actually watching this match, because of that sort of being very close to home side of it. But especially now that Shibata's back, is like back having incredible matches like that one against Danielson the other week, I finally felt like, you know what? I think I can watch this match now.
I actually had no idea this was the match. I only realized it while I was watching it.
Oh,
and I was
shit.
like, oh shit. Oh no. Oh fuck. And I almost wanted to turn it off, because I was under the impression that there was way more gnarly headbutts than there actually was.
Right.
Yeah. So I thought I was going to be feeling really gross by watching this. Thank God it didn't. And I had in my notes at one point, I go, I wonder how soon after this is when Shibata got hurt. And then I watched it like, wait a minute, this is when he gets hurt. Oh shit.
I mean, it's really that one significant head clunk that does the job.
It was fucking gnarly, dude.
I mean, you don't need much more.
And the fact that he kept going is fucking nuts.
That is the thing that stood out to me while watching it, because I only finally watched it for the first time many years after it happened, and I was of the impression that it happened sort of right at the finish, and then it was like, all right, must have been that quick rainmaker, fucking, you going home. But no, it felt like there was about 5 minutes or more after that point. Just incredible.
Yeah, I legitimately was about to turn it off, and I was like, I can't believe Chris did not warn me that this was the fucking show. So I'm like Googling, I'm like, Sakura Genesis 2017. This is it.
There was part of me that thought, like, all right, you know what's up here. I don't need to issue any warning.
Nope, not idea. I want to start off by just discussing some stuff about, presentation and such. I like to do that. As they're coming out, I just love how fucking dismissive Shibata looked about Okada coming out here, fucking money raining down. He's up there doing the pose, and like Shibata's barely looking at this motherfucker. No expression on his face whatsoever, either way. And then all of a sudden he looks at him and kind of just sneers, like, who the fuck is this guy? And I just fucking loved it. Not impressed whatsoever was Shibata.
I love it. It's just like Shibata's been on his own island this whole time. He's off doing his own thing, hanging out with Kenta and shit. Like, he's not aware of this whole Rainmaker thing.
Yeah, what's going on here? This is a lot. Like a bit of a hat on a hat, Shibata says.
Who's this guy?
And by comparison, Shibata almost in the Young Lion, the straight up black gear. I mean, that's how he rocks his career.
Classic Shibata.
Yep, with just the slight accent of color with the Japanese flag. Did he just decide to... Did he ever do anything flashy, or he just straight up black the entire time? Because it definitely suits the whole wrestler gimmick,
Yeah, straight up black the whole time. I mean, he had, sort of the early part of his career where he was in New Japan, one of the new Three Musketeers, as it were, with Tanahashi and Nakamura from back in the day. And he always just rocked the straight up black then. And then he had his big leaving of New Japan, became the ace of a tremendously underrated promotion, Big Mouth Loud, and then went on to the world of mixed martial arts. And I think he fought in, some maybe fight shorts or something back then. But then when he had his big comeback to the world of wrestling and New Japan all those years ago, it was, straight back in the black. So that's just his deal, I guess.
Fucking A, that's awesome. Also wanted to put over someone I recently found out is of kinship to me because he's from the great state of Washington, Pacific Northwest original, Masahiro Chono. Did you know that, dude?
What a weird stat that is, eh?
Yeah, I was on Twitter and they were doing, those goofy everyone engage and share meme style posts, and they were asking, name a wrestler from your state, and I didn't want to go the obvious Bryan Danielson. I figured I'd skip, so I googled to see if I could find a deep one. I could have gone Greg the Hammer, big Tacoma guy, but I saw fucking Chono on there. I'm like, what the fuck? Chono is from Seattle? So yeah, that was pretty rad. I'm still
wild. I love it. Does that mean you're like an associate member of Team 2000 by proxy?
I might even be in the Yakuza. I don't know.
Like, we were neighbors.
Yeah, we rubbed elbows. He left like he was like 2 or something.
Yeah, wild stat.
Oh yeah, so I didn't take like a ton of notes, a fair amount of stuff. The first thing I mentioned in the notes here is how Shibata going on his back and just saying, "Hey, come on, motherfucker," because he's got all his limbs out there ready to grab your ass. The fans really, really enjoyed that. They got off their feet. Like, the match was just pretty. Everyone's like, yeah, straightforward. We're feeling each other out here. And he gets on his back and like they popped real big. But Okada was not really feeling it.
Well, I guess maybe that was a bit of a ode to the Ali Inoki kind of deal, perhaps. Inoki being such an inspiration to Shibata.
Good fucking call, man. I didn't really consider that, but that's probably pretty spot on. Because the comparison between Ali being flashy and Okada being flashy is also very apt. Good call, Christopher.
Oh, thank you. Two very flashy gentlemen, I would say.
Indeed.
But I mean, the big thing of this match that I spoke a little bit about in my description thing, my little write up that I did for the match with my my post of it initially, was I like, obviously Okada's real good, okay? But to me, he's probably one of the most, and might be some people that are offended by this.
Oh, shit. Are you going to say this?
Personal
Are you about
opinion.
to say this?
I'd say
Oh my God,
he's probably one of the most overrated wrestlers that there is.
Frick.
And that is me accepting that he is real good. But just like, I think there's something to me, I never can get into guys that are just presented as like the man for like forever. You know, whether it's like in bloody, I have disdain for John Cena.
I knew you were going to say Cena.
I hated all of those days where we got nothing.
You hated Surfer Sting, didn't you?
Like Triple H back in the day, the early 2000s. I would never say such a thing about Surfer Sting, just so you know. But
all right, making sure we didn't get too crazy on this podcast.
But you know what I mean? Like when a guy's sort of like shoved down your throat
That's
for
fair.
so long.
Yeah.
And that's very much like New Japan has been like during this Okada time. To be honest, I was so happy to see him leaving and going to America. It's like, all right, we finally got a different flavor of ice cream here. My gosh, it's been Okada forever. And you know, he can be a bit like same old with a lot of his stuff that he does and his style of match. You definitely have like the Okada match, which it's a very good match, but after you've seen it like 50 times, I kind of get a little bit bored of it. But this match, I felt far more than being an Okada match. This was Shibata making Okada wrestle a Shibata match rather than the other way around. And I think that's why I loved it so much, and that's why, to me, this is my favorite Okada match of all time.
The majority of the first half was... Well, starting out, it was a lot of times Shibata legitimately just looks like he was toying with this kid and could easily lock in submissions or start striking him a lot harder if he wanted to, just to fucking start teeing off on him, but he doesn't. He kind of holds off and keeps playing with him for a good amount of time. Is that the impression that you were getting? Yeah, like, and that was maybe, I was trying to think of the bigger picture stuff was a lot of the reason of the story that they were telling, and I was thinking perhaps it's a bit of a kind of... Shibata being more of like an Inoki, like traditional kind of like strong style mentality, like the Karl Gotch kind of like a wrestler's wrestler kind of thing, like a guy who can actually go, can actually like, fuck you up, versus Okada coming in, after that sort of Tanahashi time when New Japan wasn't so much about like the realism element to it and him being more of like a show, like showy kind of wrestler, for lack of a better term. So maybe that was kind of playing into that a little bit, kind of like, all right, Okada's the man, but, can he really wrestle kind of thing? Yeah.
And Shibata sort of like playing into that a little bit, perhaps? I don't know.
Yeah, I was definitely getting that impression. Up until this one point where he locks in this cross arm breaker is like when he like, hey man, we ain't fucking around here anymore. You're in the ring with Shibata, bitch. I don't care if you're the champion. But he just fucks with him. He like legitimately the majority of this match, I'd say the first half is just him beating the tar out of Okada. And I know that's just a good, nice, slow pacing for the match and building up for the big comeback. But it really was him just beating the shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably, given that it sounds like me not having much love lost for Okada, maybe that's a big part where I was watching it and I was just real happy, maybe, I don't know. But I think that I really did like about it is when you see Okada have to reach down deep, and as he does sort of like later in this match, and reaches back to some of those more interesting kind of like elements of his background, like him, coming up and doing all that training in Mexico back in the day, and having a little bit of that Yave like influence come out, and you see that be more some of the foundations for his submission game. I thought that was super interesting and actually really fun, and I was kind of like quite impressed by Okada through that part.
Yeah, there's actually the first thing he ever did was him sticking to his flashy dropkick stuff, where he spun Shibata around and threw him up on the top turnbuckle real quick into the dropkick to the outside. But then it was back to getting his ass kicked quite a bit again. And I wanted to mention, I never noticed that the 20 count in New Japan is so fast, it pretty much equates to a 10 count in American wrestling. Because that was, American wrestling like 1, 2, and then here they're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, that's how it should be.
No, I agree 100%. I think more like ROH, if they go to 20 count and don't act so damn dramatic with the pauses in between the count, it's better.
Dude, could not agree more. Adds to the tension for sure.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, this is going fast. Hurry up, fucking get in there. We're on fucking 14, brother. Get in the ring.
Love it. I'm on the same thoughts of the standing 10 count whenever you have like a double down or whatever, or a guy counting the knockout. Especially if you watch much like shoot style wrestling from Japan, like UWFI or anything like that. And they're doing that standing 10 count. The American one is so hokey and like, again, treating like one, like in this, it's like they're doing a fast fucking 10 count. So you better bloody get up, and it like adds to the tension of it so much, man.
100%.
That's what I want more of.
There's a good bit in here where they were trading forearms. Well, not trading. Shibata was standing there asking Okada just to take free shots to his face, and he did like 3 or 4 that had little effect on Shibata, and then Shibata just rocked him. That shit was so fucking loud.
Rocked his world.
Oh my god,
and
Chris!
The
I was like,
crowd
what
reaction
the fuck?
to it as well.
They were like, what the fuck? Why did he do that so hard? This is not real. Also, man, I gotta ask.
Loved it.
In the show, the announcers say Shibata. Is that the correct pronunciation? And we're all Americanizing the shit about it and rhyming it with Shibata?
Maybe, dude. I am not Japanese. I am a dude who watches a lot of Japanese wrestling. I think from what I know about pronunciations, a lot of the like things you can give a bit more emphasis to certain like syllables, so you'll hear it very different with like a ring announcement compared to mentioning someone's name quickly in commentary. So that could be a thing, but I mean, I don't feel like I'm any authority to speak on what's right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well, I'll take your opinion. So which way do you land, though? Just joking. Yeah, they just kept saying Shibata, and I was like, all right, it's Shibata, but I'm saying Shibata. It's like, whatever. All right. I digress. I apologize.
It makes me want to eat a tasty, crusty ciabatta loaf.
Love me some ciabatta. Yeah, I didn't know the result of this match. I didn't know it was the infamous match, and I did not know who the winner was going to be. But because Okada was getting his ass whooped so hard, I was like, well, this guy's definitely going to win this match. The guy's beating the fucking tar out of him. If he just beats the tar out of him and he also wins, like, that's terrible. It's not a good match for anybody.
I remember at the time building into this match, because they were finally like getting behind Shibata properly. He had won the New Japan Cup in the lead up to this, had some real impressive dominant performances up to that point. And I remember thinking, man, this is the guy, this is the moment they should be, putting the big belt on Shibata right now. He's on like a bloody heck of a run, has the fans so behind him, more behind him than Okada, to be honest.
Was Okada a heel
so
at this
I remember thinking
the majority of the time he was like chaos, I think.
I don't think he was as much a heel as more sort of like that like everyone
talking
loves. Okada, but he's like got that cocky thing to him, and he's got that kind of like subtle heel, like egotistical kind of deal a little bit. That's always been kind of his demeanor a little bit, I guess.
Sure, makes sense.
But yeah, it was definitely a thing. I was really wanting Shibata to win, but obviously, yeah, when I finally got around to watching this, I definitely knew the result of the match, but it didn't make it any less wonderful for the viewing experience.
No, not at all. There was also this really funny part where Shibata slapped Okada on the top of the head, probably the hardest I think I've seen anybody slap anybody on top of the head, and Okada fired up so strong there, dude. I was like, well, fuck yeah, show some fucking life, motherfucker. He's beating the shit out of you.
Yes. Yes.
And it's
man,
ridiculous to go slap to slap with fucking Shibata, but Okada tried.
He did, and I do love the bit in this match. I think there was part of a story of it, of exchanging, like, using the other guy's move kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, with the drop
like
kicks.
we saw, the drop kicks, awesome drop kick from Shibata there, and I think the famous, I think possibly the most famous part of this match, other than the big headbutt, was the bitch maker, as Josh Smith referred to it when we were chatting last time.
Oh yeah,
where he rolled him out of the Rainmaker with that amazing fucking slap. Oh my gosh, tremendous.
When Okada did Shibata's stalling drop kick, the camera shot for that was so fucking choice, dude. They just had Shibata in the corner, and then Okada came flying out of nowhere into frame to hit the drop kick. Fucking cool shit.
Oh, I can't say enough good things about New Japan's videography of their matches. Just amazing stuff. Beautiful camera work. Like, to me, that is setting the precedent of what everyone else should be aiming for.
There's WWE has gotten a lot better lately.
Visuals.
I don't know if you watch much WWE.
Finally get rid of that
Kevin Dunn
fellow, and things improve. Yeah, I've heard very, very good things about it.
Before the bitch maker, which I love that, I put ripcord bitch slap in my notes, but bitch maker is even better. There was a spot where Shibata was seated and Okada did a shotgun low drop kick, and Shibata rolled onto his back into a standing position and just kind of stood there like, what now, fucker? Did you remember that bit?
Yeah.
It's so good. He just rolls up, stands there, like, hey, what now, fuck? Come on, let's go. I love Shibata. Shibata was so mean before his injury, like one of the meanest motherfuckers ever, dude. He just slapping the shit out of people.
I mean, definitely had those like inspiration. Oh, like it reminded me so much of like Tenryu's like early days of just being this just mean motherfucker. Or I mean that's what a lot of Shibata came up with, like in that era. If you ever watched like that amazing, beautiful early 2000s Enochiism sort of period, just some wonderful stuff. But yeah, Shibata wrestling just these mean motherfuckers. Like Yuji Nagata used to have like a real mean element to him. It was the same as a match that Shibata had with Kazuyuki Fujita, old Ironhead. That is one of the most mean and hard-hitting matches you'll ever watch in your lifetime.
That's that big motherfucker we watched fight Go, right?
Yeah, the dude in Noah, doing some great stuff in Noah these days. But yeah, if you ever want to watch a match that's even more physical than this one, that is the one to fire up. But yeah, Shibata is a hard man.
I just noticed that the illustration you chose for this match is one of the moments that I was going to write down, but I felt I had too many notes, where he has him in that octopus, but he's got like the second hand grabbed as well, and like not let this motherfucker go anywhere.
Yeah, just extra locking shit down. Man, I really struggled for the moment of the match in question here. for the illustration. There was, obviously you have the headbutt itself in that moment where he's like, very famous moment where he's like looking off and you can see the blood just like trickle down. I thought that was maybe a little bit too obvious. Another one of like the amazing moment of the bitchmaker slap that we were talking about before, with just the sweat kind of like flying off, which I thought was a close contender. But I think ultimately I went with this one because of that sort of like throwback to Inoki with the octopus hold. But also that was like just such a badass moment where he's like doing it and you can see that blood like trickle bleeding down while he's like got him locked down in that octopus. And it's just, to me, I think that moment of the match really summed up, like, I remember feeling while watching that, just like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. Like, it
really encompasses the match in a way, because during the entire match, for the most part, Okada really didn't have nothing that he could throw at Shibata that he couldn't fucking deal with. And yeah, this is like, sorry, I've got all your limbs locked up, bro. There's literally nothing you can do.
Right. Oh yeah, it was a tricky one, but I went with that, and I'm proud of it. And yeah, I think that visual and these closing moments of the match from that point to the actual end is just some of that all-time stuff where even if you watch thousands and thousands of hours of wrestling, this is stuff that you'll never forget.
Yeah, that sequence that I was talking about where that involved that roll up into a standing position, that stuff going back and forth with the Germans and stuff. Oh my fucking God, fantastic. It's one of those moments where I literally wanted to go in my notes move for move because it's so tremendous, but we got to move on.
Yeah, just an amazing match. And
seek it out if you haven't. You've probably seen it. I'm the lazy one, but maybe you were deterred because you knew what occurs in the match, and it's not as brutal. I mean, the headbutt is brutal, but it's not you think it's like a whole bunch of them, and it's not. And he still continues to go. Imagine, I can't believe he just fucking was able to walk out and then just collapse backstage. What a fucking badass.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he's obviously a very, very tough gentleman, that Shibata fellow. But I think, I don't know, there's something about it where knowing everything afterwards, it sort of like makes those closing moments even more impactful. But
yeah,
it's at least easier to watch now, knowing that he did eventually come back. He now is, wrestling a semi full-time schedule and back to that like proper amazing Shibata form, or close to it. I think it's a lot easier to consume now, where it's like it's a very significant moment. But it's just a tremendous match, and I definitely wouldn't stop yourself from seeing something that's so incredible because of the idea that you're watching a snuff film, I guess.
Yeah. It's like, you want to watch the movie or go watch Mass Transit? No, thanks. I don't need to see that shit. Oh, by the way, quick sidebar. Speaking of really bloody, nasty stuff, I got an opportunity to talk to Bill Alfonso while at WrestleCon, and such a rad guy. But then got to put over.
Did he call you daddy?
He did call me daddy. Yep, he shook my hand before I even offered my hand up to him. He's a rad guy. He called it right down the middle while I was there as well. But yeah,
did he have his whistle?
He did. He wasn't blowing it though, just around his neck. But he was hawking DVDs of him versus Beulah. It's hilarious. That was like one of the few things he had on his
head. That
match
ruled, dude.
It's fucking awesome. I was like, with the people I was with, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And Bill was so appreciative that I was putting him over so big. It's like, this man bleeds buckets. It's fucking crazy.
Aww. I love that match. Again, sidebar here, but just because you think lead up to that, it's like a manager versus a valet, or a corrupt referee versus a valet, I guess. And you're like, this is just going to be shtick, and they don't they didn't need to go anywhere near as hard as they did. But
Yeah,
both
they
of
went the
them,
hardest
I remember
ever.
hearing this story. Yeah, and Bueller as well. She was
Yeah.
like, let's fucking go, motherfucker. I'm not just here to, like, do some fake valet match. Let's fuck each other up.
It's honestly one of the craziest ECW matches, period. And I'm not even saying that in some sort of ironic way because it's so kitschy, but it is fucking bananas.
Big fan of both of those people, and big fan of ECW in general.
Yeah.
All right, but now, anything else on this match, or are we ready to jump to Arena Mexico here?
Let's proceed to the arena. Down Mexico way.
Okay. We just got off our flight. We're in Arena Mexico City. We've got a margarita in hand, and we are walking into the hallowed halls of Arena Mexico, La Catedral, as they say. Now, this match it made me emotional in a whole nother way, because this was the first ever clash, again, of Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, and a guy that he's looked up to for a long time, who he's been dreaming of wrestling one day. I remember even when Danielson was in WWE, it was always his thing of like, one day I'll go to Arena Mexico and wrestle Blue Panther in like a hair versus hair match or something like that. And this we didn't get the Apuestas match just yet, but still, the idea of the surreal world that we're in, where Danielson, all of the travels and places that he's gone and rad things that he's done, finally now on this finishing stretch of his full-time wrestling career, he finally got to be opposite the ring to his Yahweh maestro, this amazing wrestler that is Blue Panther, who, for all our listeners at home, you've probably heard me say it before, my official favorite luchador of all time as well.
Don't you have a Blue Panther tattoo?
I do in fact. Nice. I have a Black Panther tattoo wearing a Blue Panther mask. I thought that was a clever one to get. But I don't think I can even properly put into words the exact appeal of Blue Panther. I mean, obviously he's incredible when it comes to the technical Yahweh submission kind of stuff. He's a great example of the pretty much all the dudes from Laguna have this amazing I guess technical sort of like Yahweh skill set. And I'd say Panther is the best of them, but he also wrestles with like such heart and like fire, and like has this amazing connection with the crowd, and especially as he's gotten older too. Like, if anything, the connection's gotten kind of stronger, because he has this great kind of like old man seeming like he doesn't think he can quite do it anymore, but then he like keeps surprising himself like that he can.
That's awesome.
And it's just such a great thing. And like the crowd, even if though it's, you might have a lot of real diehard fans there, a lot of the time you have a lot of tourists there as well. Like even the tourists fucking get into it. I had a friend that went to Arena Mexico for the first time. She knew nothing about Mexican wrestling or wrestling in general. She just went there as like a tourist. And she was telling me about the show. She was excited to tell me, because obviously I'm big into Mexican wrestling. And she was like, there was this old man, and he was just the best, and he like looked like he couldn't go, and then he did some crazy stuff. And I was like, that, my friend, is Blue Panther. And it was.
Let me ask you, Mr. Blue Panther, his Titantron, he is not sporting his mask, and then he wrestles with his mask on. Was he at one point unmasked, or is he just one of those guys that, I rock a mask when I wrestle, but it's not like my identity or nothing?
This is an excellent question for you to bring up, my friend, because he actually did, in fact, lose his mask in an amazing Apuestas match, a match that was actually my match of the week a little bit prior to this one against
Oh my
one of
goodness.
the Villanos, and it was a massive upset because everyone thought Panther was just going to have this mask forever, and then he ends up unmasked, shock of the century, and there was definitely a bit where it was a part of, like, I don't want to say his aura that was kind of lost, but there was a bit where you went from feeling like this guy is just this like never aging superhero to like seeing the face, you're like, oh, he's just kind of like an old Mexican man. You know what I mean?
I expected a Honduran man, but no.
But then he went on, and he's been without the mask for many years now, and had that whole other sort of element of it that I was telling you about this aura of like just defying age kind of deal. But for this match, and he has got this on a few occasions, I absolutely love. They actually have an official Lucha Libre commission that they make the rules, and you'll have to stay by them. Otherwise, you'll get your luchador license revoked, and you won't be able to wrestle unless it's on some little outlaw shows or whatnot. But he actually got special permission from the Lucha Libre Commission to wrestle with his mask on for this match. He actually did as well for his big. I think it was his 30th anniversary match, which is just wild. That happened late last year. But yeah, so he actually got to wear the hood again for this match and for the following match the week after as a special privilege from the commission, I guess, as a commendation for his many years of service.
Interesting how the Mexican Athletic Commission is getting involved in some positive ways, yet the Oklahoma Wrestling Commission is fucking over AEW and specifically Nyla Rose.
Oh my gosh. Most American athletic commissions...
We don't need to go into that, but...
Yeah. That is very newsworthy at the moment. They're basically outraged that a trans wrestler is wrestling someone of their perception of the other gender, and they have a problem with that in the very, very real sport that is professional wrestling.
Pro wrestling. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All
right. In regards to masks, once again, we have Ultimo Guerrero, who comes out to the ring wearing a mask, but then wrestles without it. So is this a situation where he just has some cool entrance gear, or was he formerly masked as well and was unmasked?
He was masked for a long time. Ultimo Guerrero, one of my other very favorite luchadors, he finally lost his mask against another of the all-time greats, Atlantis, in another of the greatest Apuestas matches you will ever see. Highly recommend that one to everyone. But Ultimo Guerrero has been wrestling unmasked for a bit of a while now, and he sometimes I think I remember hearing something of him getting special permission to wrestle masked here or there back in some select matches, but for the most part, he just wears it for the big entrance, and then we'll take it off for the match itself, which I think is great because we get to see the spectacular mullet that he is rocking.
Indeed. Two more questions before we proceed. Volador Jr. Now, in Lucha Libre, we have gentlemen who are a junior, and then we also have gentlemen who are El Hijo de, or Del. Is there a reason why they go back and forth with no rhyme or reason on how they address lineage or patronage in wrestling?
So sometimes you'll have it separated based off of if a guy has like two sons. One can become Hijo del, and the other one can become Junior. So with Blue Panther, for example, we've got Hijo del Blue Panther, and we've got we think we've had, and then now there's a Blue Panther Junior. So sometimes it's that way. Sometimes guys just want one or the other because that's
just to be like I could perceive any rhyme or reason why.
But then other times there's no rhyme or reason, and you have guys like Dr. Wagner Jr., who sometimes is Hijo del Dr. Wagner, other times Dr. Wagner Jr. Who knows?
Isn't there a Dr. Wagner Jr. Jr.?
Yes, there is now Iho del Dr. Wagner Jr.,
That's the best.
who is honestly on an incredible run right now, and he is
Is
now
he the champ in Noah?
he is the GHC Heavyweight Champion. And
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
tremendous. Yeah. We need to definitely look at more of his matches. But yeah, that's kind of the answer. Like,
I appreciate that. The last one I have for you is the final member of the CMLL team is Mystico. Now, is this Sin Cara? Is this the original Mystico, Mystices, or whatever?
So it's a tricky one when you say the original Mystico.
But the Mystico that later became Sin Cara and then came back and was Mystico again and then was Mystices and all this crazy shit.
That is the one, my friend. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
If you ever want to do a look back of the etymology of the Mystico name, it is one of the most interesting things. I don't know who it was, whether it was like Lucha Blog or someone that put together an actual physical graphic of the different points of the Mystico name, and it went on to this, went on to this went on to this. The original actual one being the guy.
Was he like Jalistico or some shit? No, Jalistico somebody else, I think.
He was officially the second Mystico
Yeah,
after the first one went to WWE and became Sin Cara, and then we had and then
goodness,
man, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to open the whole can of worms.
No, but it's a good one. But it's important though because it's important to point out that Mystico has been on an incredible run, and I think you can track this amazing rise of CMLL over the last few years to where I think they're probably the hottest company in the world. I guess WWE's on a pretty good run right now, but outside of that, I still don't think they could run the same arena twice a week and be drawing 10 to 15,000 people every week, but I digress on that point. But yeah, I think a big part of CMLL making the comeback that they have has been off of the back of Mystico being back in the seat. They got rid of the Mystico 2 with the Dralistico when he ended up departing the company, and everyone was just like, wait, we get to call the original guy Mystico again? And then everyone just seems so happy.
Yay!
And he's been killing it ever since.
The other thing I noticed is they appeared to like Mystico so much, they introduced him twice. They introduced him as he was coming down to the ring, and when he was in the ring again, they introduced him again.
Dude, I love lucha ring introductions. It's kind of like you get like a whole commentary for their entrance as well.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah, the guy kept saying E and adding another detail to the bio as he's coming out. It was fucking great.
If you ever want to, sometimes this can be terrible, but it's always entertaining. If you're watching this stuff on YouTube, hit the there's a subtitles button, and then you can do the auto translate from Spanish to English, and it'll do sort of like a running translation with the subtitles of a lot of the ring announcements or the post-match talking or things like that. Again, a lot of the time it's so left of center or wrong, it's hilarious, but sometimes you can kind of get what they're talking about, which is useful. But yeah, I do this sometimes for those ring introductions, and it is a great time.
That's awesome. Also, shout out to Bryce Rensburg looking like a 50s milkman in his referee outfit, long sleeve white shirt and the black bow tie. I was like, what the hell?
You just needed that official milkman hat to finish off the look.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure if that reference was going to land because I don't know if those were the same bit in Australia, but yeah, I guess so. That's fucking ridiculous.
Amazing.
The milkman uniform.
And what a special moment this must have been. I mean, in addition to, you could tell a lot of the different Blackpool Combat Club guys, they just looked like they were so happy to be there and so happy to be immersed in this atmosphere where there's really nothing like it anywhere else in the world of professional wrestling. But, even for Bryce, it looked like he was just so stoked to be, refereeing this main event of Dos Leyendas.
I love that man. He's so good. After he refereed Invisible Man versus Invisible Man, I made a beeline to go thank him and tell him how tremendous this is. He was drinking his much needed beer. What a match, man. Bryce rules.
He is a fantastic referee, officially my favorite referee in AEW, and just a sweetheart
Even better
of a
human
man.
being. Yeah.
And he, I actually did a illustration of his big match against refereeing the Invisible Man versus the Invisible Man from that spring break that we went to. And he liked it so much that he asked me to send him the illustration. So I was more than happy to, because Bryce has been amazing for so long, and is just such a good dude.
Very, very true. I did not have a ton of notes on this, just because I was just after watching that hellacious match, I was just kind of enjoying this. But the first thing that stuck out to me, and I found it incredibly hilarious, is they're on the outside, and somebody, it might have been Claudio, has Mystico and takes him and throws him against the barrier, and he literally bounced off this barrier and flew back toward the ring like 3 feet, I think.
It was so good. Talk about committing to a bump. Dude.
Holy shit.
That whole bit where they spilled to the outside and were the Blackpool Combat Club were getting on top of them, and using their dirty underhanded tactics. It was just tremendous. Even the bit between Mox and Ultimo Guerrero in that opening part, I was the way they were sort of squaring off, I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. Keep an eye on these two throughout the rest of the match. And it really, really was. I think we got a bit of a Super Dragon violence party there as well.
Yep. The rules were confusing to me. I didn't understand sometimes at one point, all 4 members of Blackpool Combat Club would be in the ring beating the shit out of one guy, and the CMLL guys were all respecting the rules and staying on the apron until it became the next guy's turn to get his ass whooped. What was going on there, pal?
I feel like the referee was quite genial. Congenial? Is that the word? I don't know what I'm looking for here. A bit lax, for other way of putting it, with the rules here.
But why the guys in the CML guys are oh, the referee's there. I mean, we shouldn't get in there. I see these guys are being pretty underhanded, but let's stay on this apron and be respectable luchadors.
Maybe we have a double standard for the Americanos and all of that AEW cashola that they're bringing in.
Gotta be it.
I mean, at the same time, we had Bryce refereeing, so I don't know.
Little favoritism. There was one point where Ultimate Guerrero's on the ground. They're all stomping his body, and then they switch to a couple of them are stomping his body. Mox starts biting him on the face while Seidel kicks him in the top of the head.
Tremendous. And I mean, part of this, it is a bit of a lucha trope whenever you watch, a lot of the famous kind of trios matches where the Rudos get on the Technico, and they all seem to be just all in at the same time, getting
much heat, dude. So much heat.
But that, I think, was something I really loved about the match too, because they worked it. It wasn't like they came in and we got an American style match. They worked a classic Lucha Libre style match. They knew what they were doing, and all right, we just gotta get as much heat going as possible to build that crowd fucking up, and they did it perfectly, the bloody culero chants, and the actual heat for the comeback was incredible, and through the whole match, dude, the heat and the actual fans and the fan reaction and the atmosphere, I think was
they loved it.
50% or more of what made this so good.
Yeah, it's crazy. How many of the fans of CMLL were actually heavy in the corner of the Blackpool Combat Club, cheering the hell out of him. Doing the yes chants for Danielson. Not even C, man. They're straight up saying yes. They were all in it.
So that was an interesting thing too. So generally speaking, your Arena Mexico shows, especially these big Friday night ones, you get a lot of your CMLL hardcores, where there's probably a couple thousand of them that turn up every Friday night. Bulk of the audience is a lot of the time your tourists, so different Mexican tourists, a lot of gringos, And so they're just there, like, this is probably, again, maybe one of their first times ever watching Lucha, and they're just reacting to everything just being wild and crazy. This show was an interesting one because it was their big Dos Leyendas show, which is one of their big tentpole shows of the year.
Easy for you to say.
Right? And the tickets like sold out in advance, which like never happens in Arena Mexico. So I think there was like a whole different pocket of fans who purely came to see like, oh, the bigger Americans are coming to town. So, and it seemed like that translated with this new chunk of people there were just really into everything the Blackpool Combat Club did, even though they were being such ruthless assholes. So I think that was a lot of what you're talking about with like getting into the yes chants and all that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah. There is even some C chants when Mystico did him. That was pretty funny. The craziest spot, though, that I thought maybe I missed something else, but the fact that Moxley took a power bomb off the top rope, like, what the fuck? I would not expect him to take. I know he does crazy hardcore stuff, but I just don't think I've ever seen him take that type of bump.
Oh, that is a classic part of the Ultimo Guerrero repertoire. Every big Ultimo Guerrero match, you get one of those as a sweet near fall, and it's never not awesome. And yeah, Moxley looked like he really bloody took it. I do have a note here of one thing that really tickled me a little bit earlier in the match. When they were all, probably getting in that second heat on Ultimo Guerrero that they were doing, where Ultimo Guerrero was getting his ass beat in the corner, but in classic Lucha Libre and the classic Ultimo Guerrero fashion, whilst he was getting his ass beat, he was cheerleading to the crowd, doing his, like, raise the roof bit, and the crowd got so into it whilst he was getting his ass whooped.
That's fucking hysterical.
I popped so hard, and then you could see, I can't remember whether it was Claudio or Danielson or Moxley, but one of them, they clearly were a bit miffed by this, so then they gave him a series of like real hard forearms or chops or whatever it was to...
Like, hey, we're kicking your ass here, buddy. What the fuck you doing?
But that is just so quintessentially Lucha Libre. I adored it. It was so wonderful.
Speaking of quintessential Lucha Libre, that in regards to the powerbomb I was talking about, I love that sometimes this never happens in American wrestling, but sometimes in Lucha Libre, when you get Irish whipped into the corner, you go so fast you end up sitting on top of the top turnbuckle.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Who knows what's going on with the dynamic movement of bodies and stuff? Man, it is amazing.
Yeah.
I also and I always love this, but in this match specifically, a Blue Panther's somersault dive to the outside. Yeah. That's basically the spot I'm always talking about when, he's like doing the bit roost, this old man getting his ass beat, and then he like, you know what? I can do this! And then he does his sweet somersault dive, and he hits it so bloody perfectly, man. It was like, the crowd went banana, as Pat would say.
When he did it in the second match, for a moment there, I thought, because he went onto the apron, for a moment I go, is this crazy asshole about to do a moonsault to the outside? It's like, oh no, he's doing the thing again.
Yes, he is.
Is Matt Sydal technically an honorary member of Blackpool Combat Club, or he seemed to be? He's typically a pretty chill dude, you know what I mean? That's his whole gimmick, but he was real fired up in this match. He's like gritting his teeth a whole bunch, and like I said earlier, kicking Ultimate Guerrero right on the top of the head.
I was really hoping that we would, as a result of this weird substitution of Yuta no longer being available for the match and Sydal being put in there, that it would mean that perhaps we would get Sydal as a adjacent member of the Blackpool Combat Club, and that may be translating over to America, because I thought he killed it, and I also think there would be some amazing opportunity for some humorous situations with Sydal's generally quite chilled, hippie kind of mentality.
Like being real aggressive.
Yeah, and like that switch flipping, and then it's like, all right, I am a badass veteran at the end of the day.
It would be hilarious. Like they're like, dude, Seidel, chill out, dude. You're going too hard. Even Mox is like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I thought Seidel did great here. I'm a massive
loved
Matt
it.
Seidel fan, but I thought he
Huge
fit
fan.
perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only complaint that I will say about this match that I thought was fucking dumb was I'm okay with it, right? Seidel being put in this match because Yuta's unavailable. Sure, I'm good with that. However, with the rules of this match, so two things. Normally, this kind of match we'd get 2 out of 3 falls. This was adjusted to be single fall, which we've been getting sometimes in Arena Mexico. It's kind of like no rhyme or reason. Sometimes a match will just be 1 fall. Sometimes it'll be the traditional 3, but I would have expected this would have been the traditional 3. It wasn't. I'm assuming that's because perhaps AEW Brass didn't want their guys doing unnecessary jobs. But to the point where, so in these kind of matches, you have captains of each team. So you either have to, get
I think you're now explaining the finish to me because I was fucking confused. Dude.
Right, so you either have to get the one pinfall or submission, beating the captain will win the match for you, or if you beat 2 of the other guys, you can win the match, or if you beat one of the other guys and the captain, you can win the match. So the idea they announced, of all people in this match, Matt Seidel is the captain.
That's why I was so fucking confused because Ultimo Guerrero clearly gets eliminated. I'm like, okay, it's elimination style match, I guess.
Right.
And then Seidel taps out and the match is over. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
I thought it really gave it away, the idea of like, okay, we can see what's going to happen tonight when Seidel was announced as the captain, and I really thought it would have made it that much better if like the finish of the match was somehow like Blue Panther getting the win on either 2 of the other guys. Or even Danielson, but the fact that it was just that, and now Mystico beats Matt Seidel with the La Mystica, I was like, that is a little bit disappointing,
Completely. I now that you're thinking about it, the perfect finish, knowing that we're going, what match we go into, it should have been Blue Panther putting Bryan down. Like, and I guess based off of the booking and Yuta not being there, the original plan probably would have been Yuta eating the pin or taking the fucking pin.
But again, with the rules of the match, like, how fucking dumb would it be? You have this match and then Yuta is the captain somehow?
Yeah, like,
it makes it too
have him come out first. Like, yeah, I'm the badass. Like, we got Moxley and Bryan Danielson on the team, and neither of these guys are fucking captains. You gotta be fucking kidding.
Yeah, my only complaint in this is that, I assume maybe it's just because, like, Tony didn't want his guys eating too many pins, or his, like, main dudes, like Mox or Claudio or Danielson, or I don't know what it was, but I thought it was
I gotta
silly.
talk to my buddy Tony about that, see what he was thinking there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is pretty well my main thoughts on that match. I did feel that when I was watching it, I was just taken back by how amazing a lucha base Claudio is.
I literally was going to say the thing, like, how awesome is Claudio at basing for these fucking guys? Chikara probably led to that a lot.
I'd say so. He'd have a lot of experience doing these lucha spots, but he looks so fantastic. Mox as well. I what some of those early CMLL matches with the BCC guys involving Mox in AEW, I thought Mox looked a little bit rough and clearly a bit of a fish out of water when it comes to this style. But from then till now, dude, he has owned it. He was looking fantastic, like made everything look perfect. Can't say enough good things about Mox in this match. And Mystico as well was just on fire. Like, he's a dude where when he's like in there with Rudos who actually know what they're doing, he's like one of the best in the world. It's still the idea that like people make out he's some sort of like not good wrestler because of that terrible WWE run. Boggles the mind. But yeah, I also really loved Ultimo Guerrero in this match. I mean, again, he's one of my all-time favorites, but it just came across to me like the combination of like charisma and fucking skill of this dude, and like regardless of whether like normally he's more in the Rudo kind of position, but here in like the Technico kind of position, I thought he was just so fantastic in this. I loved how they protected Panther's Fujiwara armbar in this one as well, like as they would in the following match. But I thought this was such a great little bit, and there were a few things through this match that I thought worked to build up the following week, the big mano a mano match with Panther and Dragon. A lot of things they did so well, like even down to like every time you thought you were going to finally get like a prolonged bit of them in the ring together, you'd always get it like snatched away. So I thought it just built to the following week so bloody well. Yeah, I thought it was a tremendous match.
I agree 100%. I do want to speak about the term mano y mano.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know that means, the way we use it is, face-to-face combat, but it literally just means hand-to-hand. Is it every match mano y mano?
Well, in Lucha, and I believe this was something I learnt as well, it's mono a mono rather than E. I think E is more the traditional kind of like nomenclature.
Yeah, I meant
of
hand-to-hand.
What we would say for I guess more English-speaking kind of stuff. But technically when you have a big singles match in Lucha Libre, the official term is mano a mano.
Yeah, but still means hand to hand, and all matches are hand to hand, really, unless we're just doing kickboxing. That's all I'm saying.
I mean that makes
I'm
sense.
being pedantic.
That makes sense. I don't have any answers for you, dude. As we get into the big singles match, do you have any other thoughts on the previous one?
No, I enjoyed it. Like I said, I didn't take a bunch of notes because I was just watching it. I'm a big fan of Lucha Libre because it's so much fun, and there's no need to overanalyze because it's great.
Yeah, and I thought this was the perfect sort of like introduction for it for people that may not have like seen a whole bunch other of it. And it sounds like there are a lot of people like on Twitter and stuff where it's like they're not regular viewers of CMLL, but sure, let's give this one a go. And I thought it worked absolutely perfect for that purpose. But as we approach the big mano a mano match, the dream match that has been a dream match for many, many years, I have a little story to tell you, friend.
Bring it.
So, the way this match came together, I wasn't actually aware of how it came together. I assumed a bit of it was kind of like, Danielson obviously for a long time wanting this match, and then maybe Tony doing him a bit of a favour and be like, yeah, let's make this happen, and then they went from there. But there was a story in the Wrestling Observer that I thought was very notable, and one that I thought would be a good one to go into here to set the plate for this dream match. So apparently, a little-known story from a decade ago that led to what happened is that a few weeks before WrestleMania 30, at Arena Coliseo in Monterrey, Mexico, wrestling reporter Apollo Valdez recorded a video where Panther thanked Danielson for saying to him that he was his idol, or said about that in the media, and told him that he also wanted to have a one-on-one match with him. So this is all the way back at WrestleMania 30. So at WrestleMania 30 Access, Valdez then showed that video to Danielson, and Danielson got emotional. But then he became even more emotional when Valdez revealed that Blue Panther had sent him a personalized and signed mask. Right after the show completed, and
that's rad.
The Danielson versus Panther match between the two was confirmed, something quite emotional happened for Valdez, and that Panther actually recognized him and thanked him, saying that all this happened only because of him. so the reporter. Valdez shared the experience through his Facebook account, saying the following. Last Friday, something unexpected happened to me. After the show at Arena Mexico ended, I approached the tunnel where Blue Panther was. I saw him taking photos. Carlos Acosta of Super Luchas told me to take a picture with him because I had helped make the match between Panther and Danielson happen through a video I made with Eric Salinas for Media Tempo at WrestleMania 30. Honestly, it made me feel embarrassed, and even though I know the video played a role, I'd never really taken credit for it because ultimately it was the companies that made that happen, something I thought would remain a dream. However, when I approached Panther, he immediately recognized me and said, "I've been looking for you for years." It had been about 5 years since I last interviewed him. I asked everyone about you. I want to thank you because it's thanks to that session and video that we did at the Coliseo that this is happening. You're responsible for this. Honestly, it choked me up because even though others have said similar things, as I mentioned, I never truly taken that credit, but for Blue Panther to say it meant a lot. This video is just a small part of the whole conversation we had. He introduced me to his wife and son, saying he was the one who gave Danielson the mask and made the video. Because of him, we're here. I don't know if it was a job well done or just luck, but undoubtedly those words are among the best I've heard in my journalist career.
So, that's fucking rad.
There you go. I thought that was quite a heartwarming little story, and really kind of like brings together a bit of like how this match happened, and also what amazing guys both Panther and Danielson are. But
very cool, very cool.
There we go. So this match again, a total dream match, finally happening. No one expected it to happen. The thing of this one, a big part of it is like, we're finally getting it right. Sometimes these dream matches or these kind of things happen a little bit later than we would like. When this match finally took place, after all these years of talking about it, Panther is now 63 years old, dude.
Fucking A.
This is a 63-year-old guy. And I think, so for that reason, I'd, long been hoping for this match, but I hampered my expectations a little bit, being like, you know what, he's 63. We'll just see what it is. Whatever it is, I'll be happy with it. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah.
But this was so much more than that, man. Like, this, to me, like, I think a combination of Danielson working a very smart match, Danielson knowing how to work with a guy like Panther just being fucking incredible, and like no matter what he does, like he does it with so much heart. Like this whole thing came together so perfectly, and it went a lot longer than I was expecting as well. Like I was expecting to go out there and we'll get like a nice little kind of like 12-minute kind of match, which I think everyone would have been fine with. No, they went like fucking almost 30 minutes in a match that this officially was so far my favourite match that I've seen this year, man.
That's high praise.
I mean, again, I don't know whether that kind of like I'm quite part of this is just because I love both of these guys so much, or whether I'm a bit skewed in my judgment on that. But I think when you're looking at matches, that's what you should be. Like, fuck being impartial. Like, it's how it makes you feel when you watch it and how happy it makes you feel, you know?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm very in the moment when it comes to wrestling. I don't have any standing list of favorite matches of all time, or I don't keep track of my favorite matches of the year ever. I just enjoy wrestling. And that's all it comes down to. The experience that you had when you were watching it is how much it matters. It fucking 5 stars, phooey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if everyone's out there literally trying to have a 5-star match, that shit gets fucking boring.
Exactly.
And it's cool, but if everyone's going all out, it's like, give me a fucking rest. I need some comedy. I need some grappling here. I need slow it down a little bit for me every once in a while, and I will still enjoy it. You don't need to murder yourself.
It's such a funny thing. I think nothing's led to more of a homogenization of wrestling more so than like everyone just aiming for the tastes, or not everyone, but a lot of people aiming for the tastes of like one dude, and then everyone, then being like, oh yeah, shit, this is a 7-star match or whatever. Yeah,
and I think Dave is rad, and
I'm a
think
big
he
fan of
has a
Dave.
great. I value his opinion. He has seen enough wrestling where I can't, by any means say his opinion does not matter. But at the same time, if every fucking wrestler is just working for an audience for one, things get very similar.
Absolutely. There was actually this is a bit of an abstract comparison, but there was like a wine critic, famous American wine critic, who had some of the wine. One of our most famous wine regions in Australia is the Barossa Valley in South Australia. And they have really become known for like a big full-bodied red Shiraz kind of thing. And then there was this famous critic, this American critic, who reviewed it and was just blown away and said really great things about it. So then the thing that happened was like so many of the wineries around that region just all chased for that exact same kind of wine, that same like full-bodied red vibe. As opposed to doing different and interesting things, to where so much of the wine from that region became homogenized because the international expectations of it was this one guy's definition of a full-bodied red. And this is probably a bit of a weird comparison, but that's what I feel like has happened in wrestling to a large degree. Everyone just expects the same thing.
You need a Pinot match, maybe a Chablis match. You never know.
Maybe a bit of a weird, funky Pet Nativa match.
Oh, I've never even heard of that. It sounds fun.
Other people might not have been expecting us to go into wine tasting wankery on this show, but there you go.
It's the tannins of the wrestling match, Chris. The tannins.
It's the persistence. Do you finish a match and does the flavor stay in your mouth for a good amount of time? That's how you know if it's a good match, my friend.
Tastes like an oaky mahogany. So, again, I need to point out the fun presentation stuff. I love the announcer of this match, or one of the commentary guys, pulling up Wikipedia to explain who Bryan Danielson.
Oh my gosh!
Right, and he is Bryan Lloyd Danielson. And I was like, what the fuck? He literally must read his Wikipedia to get his middle name to familiarize people. From Washington, Aberdeen, Washington. It's like, what the hell, dude?
And the most amazing part was, from that point on through the entire match, every time he referred to him as Bryan Lloyd Danielson.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And he all dragged out to making it go, Bryan Lloyd Danielson.
I think that tickled me so much that I'm going to do the same thing from now on. Every time I ever talk about Bryan Danielson, it's now Bryan Lloyd Danielson.
It reminded me of a story that I read, that he claimed that when he was in NXT, he suggested that his name be Lloyd Boner.
I remember this. And he's just trying to pick out the most dumb fucking names he could come up with.
Lloyd Boner.
There's an alternate universe, where they actually went with that, and then he went on to have a spectacular career where he was just known as Lloyd Boner from that point forward.
Yeah, he's stiff competition.
Oh, zing!
Hey. So on this one, I also was just watching, so I don't have a bunch of notes. So I will say
on the entrance front, I do just want to also point out for Blue Panther's entrance, I don't think it gets better than the Panther mask, the bloody what's the Mexican cape thing called again? Poncho, and this beautiful cowboy hat. Man, just overall that whole aesthetic.
Great presentation.
So badass.
I love that lucha look. So you could probably fill in the stuff before this, but I just want to make a special note because this is the first thing that stuck out, because everything was good, but this was super rad. The way that they worked their way into the gory special like really slowly, where you almost didn't even notice it was happening, and then it was in, and it was great. Fucking Blue Panthers walking around, but then Danielson reverses it by getting up into sitting on his shoulders like in a fireman's carry, or probably not fireman's carry, but electric chair position, and then dropping back onto his back and getting
Into
the
the
rear naked
choke.
choke. Like, what the fuck was that? That was amazing.
Incredible stuff, man, and that is the reason why that was like my favorite moment of the match, and the moment they did for the illustration, the
I didn't
gory
look at the drawing
special.
yet. Yeah.
But also like that Guru special in of itself, before he even like gets to the awesome thing that would come with the counter, just that as a moment where just seeing the pure fucking joy in Panther's eyes as he had this gory special locked in, and he proceeded to like run around the ring with this locked in. It just looked like a moment of like transcendent happiness that just made me happy. It was like, just a beautiful moment.
I got this, gringo. I got this, gringo, right here.
And the crowd was going nuts, like just
American
everything about
Dragon.
Just...
Bryan Lloyd Danielson.
I have the note as most joyful, gory special ever.
It's fucking tremendous.
So good. And before that, there was an amazing headstand exchange spot that I thought was so well done as well. Between Panther going up with the headstand to get out of the headlock, or the leg vice headlock thing, kind of like what Nishimura was famous for back in the day, to then Danielson having that awesome like headstand escape out of it. Oh man, I thought that was, as soon as that happened, I was like, man, if we get nothing else, this has been fantastic. And then it just kept getting better and better.
Yeah, you imagine as a student of Blue Panther, Danielson just sits back and like, all right, here's all the cool stuff I want to work in, where we can trade off, see who's better at doing these certain things, and I'm gonna make you look great, and I'm just gonna have a fucking tremendous match. Well, let me get back to where I was in my note. I had something here. There was a really kind of scary spot, is when Danielson did a tope into Blue Panther, and Blue Panther whiplashed his head so hard into the fucking, there's no mats out there, so that's fucking crazy. His head bounced up, but he seemed to get up like pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's a durable. He is a durable fucker. I will say that. That moment when Danielson hit that fucking tope suicida, like, yeah, you watch that. That is not like a dude having a light, respectful, hitting a tope in a very gingerly fashion to look after his opponent, who is almost in his mid 60s. He hit that motherfucker furiously, like
100%.
And I don't know whether that's like him asking how much he wanted him to, look out, and then Panther's like, nah, motherfucker, go hard. Man.
By comparison, one of the running drop kicks he did into the corner, you could tell he must have realized he caught him pretty good, because he definitely protected him on one of those drop kicks. He like didn't even seem to kick him in the face, like he ended up with his thigh on the side of his head. So yeah, but that tope was like a fucking rocket, and the way that Panther
tope should be done, man.
Damn right, I'm with you. They don't call him tope suicida for nothing. But yeah, hit his head. I was like instantly like, ooh, this fucking old guy. One bit, because I don't speak the language, I didn't realize this was a submission match. So both of these jackasses went for pinfalls at points. Apparently, both really smart wrestlers forgot what match they were in.
Well, I don't think it was necessarily just a submission match. I think the part when he actually went for a near fall after that, and the referee was like, no, was because of the illegal shit happening on the outside, and doing that kind of thing where it's like, no, we're not giving you the count on something that took place outside of the ring.
But there was two.
So what was the other one? So
at one point, the first pinfall attempt was Blue Panther in the corner trying to pin him, and the referee waves it off, and he grabs his wrist and says, I could only assume he was saying no, it's not. And then there was a second attempt at a pinfall where he also waved it off.
I remember the one when he had him in the counter off of the awesome Romero special, which was another
that was
the
the second one.
And then I think he waved that off because both of their shoulders were on the mat, so he wasn't going to count either man because both.
Earlier there was in the match, Danielson was down. Blue Panther went for a pin, and the guy did not issue a count. There was no foot underneath the ropes or anything. I was like confused, where I thought, did Danielson not put his shoulder down and the referee was not calling the pinfall because it was clean? But no, he did it twice. I'm almost certain.
I am fascinated about this now. Well, I don't have any answers for you at this moment, but as far as I was aware, this was just a standard straight up one-on-one match where pinfalls were part of it. But I don't know. But getting back to the crowd, as I mentioned earlier, how great they were in that previous match. They were even better in this match. They were like insanely into everything. They just had such a love for Panther, but also like you could see how stoked they were to be seeing Danielson as well. I just thought the crowd made both of these matches so much better, and again the whole atmosphere of Arena Mexico, like it can't be touched. That part when they were on the outside that you mentioned earlier after that furious tope, that was where I loved, because up to this point I was like, Danielson's been kind of like more respectful into the match, this part that I was really expecting, because I was kind of expecting that real, like devious, ruthless asshole Danielson that we'd seen glimpses of in the previous match. But I was like, is he being a bit more respectful and wrestling in a more technical kind of fashion in this one, as Panther had challenged him to do after their previous match. But then no, on the outside, this is where we saw the return of the ruthless asshole Danielson after just hitting him with one of the biggest, like, craziest motherfuckers of a tope that we've ever seen. He then goes to the next level. You see, they fucking like suplexed him over the outside rail onto the hard floor, and he just kind of like bounced and crumpled.
There was also that closest I think I could describe it to is a Fez press, but he just ran and put his balls right into Blue Panther's face and squished him on the outside.
Oh yeah, the classic Negra Casas version.
And also, I did search. This was a submission match. Booyah!
Oh damn, man!
Booyah! So that's why I thought it was interesting that they threw in that these guys both forgot for a moment that they were in a submission match and tried to get a pinfall. So I found that interesting. It's good storytelling, but at the same time, you have to be like, wait, wouldn't they remember? Fucking A.
I mean, when you're in the heat of the moment, dude, these things
in
go
the
out
heat
the window.
of the moment.
Oh, great song. I am a big fan of Asia. I want that to be known to everyone.
The country as well as the band?
Both. I mean, I haven't seen much of Asia outside of Japan so far, but what I've seen so far, I like.
I did like, this is toward the end of the match, but when Danielson did decide he was going to tap out furiously, his leg was under the rope.
Oh, that whole finish I thought was so well done. Before we get into that,
I didn't take much notes. I didn't realize I was jumping so far ahead.
No, that's all right. I wasn't meaning to be like too move for move.
Oh, you corrected me. You told me you didn't want to go move for move, and now you're trying to go move for move.
I just had so many things about this that I really love, dude. But
wait, Phil, gush.
The what we talked about earlier with Panther's awesome somersault dive to the outside. Yeah. This one in this match was even better because we had the just previous to this, the return the total asshole Danielson coming out. Panther finally has his big sort of comeback, and he's fucked Danielson to the outside, and leading up to it, those fucking stomps that he does, like those cheerleading stomp. No, the bit where Danielson fucking stomps his head in. Yeah, that was again total arsehole Danielson.
Disrespectful. I thought that this guy was your hero. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, those are so good. And that really got the heat sort of element of the crowd. We're just like, all right, come on now. He is a senior gentleman right here. That is just rude. But then when Panther fucks him to the outside and he's leading into his dive, the way he like looks to the crowd and does these just stomps onto the apron, like getting the crowd going, leading up his dive to the outside. Yep. I thought it's one of those magical parts of Panther that is just one of the bloody best things of his repertoire.
Yeah, it's crazy how much you could just simply get people excited just by stomping and looking at them and just, taking a moment to actually connect with the crowd instead of just presenting something. Yeah.
I think that's what I mean, like when I say about like this, like really showing like heart and fire and that sort of like connection that he has with the crowd. It's because
acknowledging
of that
them.
Yeah.
Whoops, sorry.
Well, the other real nasty thing was that bloody spider suplex that Danielson gave him. That looked bloody rough.
His core is in ridiculous shape for him to be able to do that. And then also your knees when you're hanging upside down. Fucking A, I could only imagine how much pain that would be.
Just how like fast and nasty that bump looked for a dude who was 63 to be taking. Like you look at like the kind of matches that like Sting was having at 63. He was not taking any bumps like that. You know what I mean?
Fuck no.
The other thing I just adored was when those the running drop kicks that Danielson was doing into the corner on Panther.
Yeah.
Panther's sell of those. Did you notice how fucking good this was? Where he just kind of like his head just went sort of like a bobblehead kind of like. Oh, I can't even give it justice to how amazing a sell job he did for these.
No, great timing. Earlier in the match, I did like how Danielson had like both of his arms behind his back, and he was just Panther was kind of just like shaking his butt and gyrating. It's like such a weird thing, but for some reason, like, yeah, it makes sense. This old guy is just shaking as hard as he can to reverse what's going on, but it just looks like he was shaking his ass at Bryan.
Hey, a good shimmy can do marvelous things.
Shimmy, shimmy, yeah.
The other thing that I really loved as just a moment where I was like, maybe I fucked up in not picking this for the moment of the illustration, was that amazing running dive that Panther did off the ramp onto Danielson on the outside, and just when he was like mid-air, just looked so perfect. And Danielson from behind catching him. When I did the rewatch, I was like, fuck, maybe I should have done that one. But the best
part about that bit, it was right after the flying dick to the face, where he looked like he got wrecked, and then all of a sudden he was up hella far down the rampway and coming at him. Like the resilience of this old man.
And this is the stuff where I mean, like, winding back that bloody clock. Like, what 63-year-old is capable of doing this? Like, I don't know, is it... for a long time said, I think the American style of wrestling of taking so many unnecessary bumps is fucking dumb, and that's the reason why like so many American wrestlers have significantly shorter careers than what we see for a lot of dudes in Japan and Mexico. Or if it's just those Laguna guys like have a different something in their blood, but man, he just seems built different.
Just built different.
There was another tremendous part when Danielson was trying to get that label locked in, and you notice like they're sort of like hand fighting, and how like Panther was sort of like constantly sort of like moving his hand and not kind of letting him quite get it to officially lock it in, and then he's like struggling to like crawl towards the ropes, and just this like massive chant of like Panther, Panther, while he's just like reaching towards those ropes. That was another one where I was like, man, if we got just a slight different camera angle, that would have been the moment. But that was I think the moment where I was just like, I will never forget this. In like all of the wrestling that I ever watch, I'll never forget this moment. So good.
Yeah, the fans were super engaged, and I will be fully honest here. I've only seen 2 Blue Panther matches in my entire life, and they were both today.
Well, my friend, that is that can, on the other side of the coin, that can be a good thing, because you got so much great stuff that you can look forward to. You can watch his sick match against or series of matches against Love Machine Art Bar.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah. After he was
I just
the
want to say
juicer.
I get it. I understand why he's so cool.
Yeah, I love him, dude. There's a reason why he's my favorite of the luchadors. But I just thought this whole thing was wonderful. He wound back the clock. It was like the perfect dream match of everything that it should have been. I think that finish that you were saying before as well, with him like having finally gotten the Fujiwara, which, as I mentioned, they protected really well from the previous one, because the Fujiwara is Panther's big finish, other than the El Nudo Lagunero, which is the sort of like cross-legged thing where he sort of gets him up in the air, which he was trying for earlier, but Danielson fought off. He finally gets him in that Fujiwara, and then Danielson immediately starts tapping out whilst also being under the ropes. Then like Panther lets go. He thinks he's won it. He is convinced.
Hell, he was incredulous. He was like, what do you mean I didn't win this match? What the hell?
Just like how drawn out it was for how long.
Yeah.
He was like, I clearly won. I saw the tap. Come on, guys, why aren't you raising my hand? Just raise it. It's right there.
Yep.
Like, the amount that he played this up was so fucking great. And then only for a moment later to Danielson to take advantage of that and catch him straight in the label lock for the actual finish. I thought was just such an excellent finish. Like, simple, but so well done.
Agreed, 100%.
Yeah, so I again officially this was the match I've most enjoyed this whole last year, and I understand if other people watch it and are just like, I don't really get like what you meant, but I don't know. For me, all I can go for is that.
I just don't get it, okay?
But yeah, if this starts anyone's journey down watching more Blue Panther matches, you're in for a bloody treat. I'd highly recommend it as an amazing match with Atlantis from the early 90s, which is just an all-time like clinic of like a technical wrestling match. His big mask versus mask match against Love Machine Art Bar, again tremendous shit. Some amazing tags when he was in AAA in the 90s, teaming with like Ray Jr. and stuff like that. Like so much good stuff for everyone to check out. But that is it. We've gotten through our triple header of the match of the week. We're not quite. Oh, we are on 2 hours. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I had a feeling. That's why I jumped to the finish, man. Let's try to close this up. Let's go home.
Yep, let's take it home, boys. Well, we got home. We're here. We finished it. This was a fun time. Thank you, my friend. You got any plug skis for us?
Sure. Happy to plug. I am Jeremy Tate, aka at Jaims Vanderbeek, and you can find me on social media at Jaims Vanderbeek on both Instagram and the Twitter, or currently known as X. Don't give it to you. I still type in Twitter and I get there. It's weird. Yeah. But you also I do graphic design, so if you want to either get some designs done, hit me up, or if you want to buy some of my wacky t-shirts, you can do so at pentagonzo.com. That's pentagonzo.com. www.wrestlingwithjaims.com. And lastly, I am part of a little wrestling company up here in Washington called SOS Pro Wrestling. We run shows at least once a month. We got 2 shows coming up here in May. Double payday for your boy Beek. So yeah, you can tune in on IWTV to watch SOS Pro Wrestling. It's a fun show. It's not super serious, but we do have some great wrestling as well as the wacky hijinks.
Sounds delightful. Those are some great plugs, man.
Thanks.
Good job. I strive to one day have the smoothness of delivery and quippiness that you have for your plugs there. All I can do is a big old thank you to our team at Social Suplex, socialsuplex.com, for keeping the lights on here, allowing me to do this dumb, highly niche show here. They've got a bunch of other rad wrestling podcast shows that you can check out, from the Keeping It Strong Style New Japan podcast to One Nation Radio, all things elite. Trish and Sarah, there's a Tunnel Buddies podcast of some variety, I think.
Tunnel Buddies?
Oh, Tunnel Talk.
Okay, Tunnel Buddies is like Eskimo Brothers.
Maybe that's a special edition of their show. I don't know.
That's awesome.
You can check out my stuff at Chris Things on the Instagram, Chris Things on the Twitter. You can keep up with all my matches of the week, our current lookbacks that we're doing from the original Way of the Blade book as we approach the big new AEW edition of the book. You can jump on christhings.com.au, where you can buy the art. You can buy a printski, you can buy a calendar, a mug, a t-shirt, all of the things. Or if you'd like something a little bit extra special, you can reach out to me and say, hey Chris, I would like to get you to do a commission of me. Yeah. Whoa. If you've got a rad concept that you've had brewing away up in the old noggin for a while, and you're like, I want to see how this would look, you know, an artist's interpretation of this great idea that I have, well, please hit me up. You'd be surprised how affordable that these things can be, and I'll always make sure that everyone is happy with what they get. So there you go. There's my plug skis.
Nice. When I have some spare money, and I have a new home, I'm definitely gonna have to get that Bam Bam printer. I needs it. Oh, also, before we get out of here, for people who used to listen to the old show, I fucking met Inamura. You guys know how I used to gush about that guy being a badass. I fucking met him. Oh shit, what a nice guy. Anyway,
so good. Was always one of my longtime favorites in Noah. Just tremendous stuff. He's had his excursion in the UK, doing a lot of work for Progress, and then I guess they were over for their big show on Mania weekend. How was he in person? How did your interaction go?
Very friendly. I didn't realize it was him at first. It looked like him, but I didn't want to go up and ask some Asian gentleman if he was an Asian gentleman that I thought he was, just in case he wasn't, because that'd be painfully awkward and marginally racist maybe on my part. But I actually recognized the right man, so I guess my white guilt was getting to me. But I made sure I saw TK Cooper standing there. I'm like, yo, TK, is that Inamura? He's like, yep. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm gonna go talk to him. So I went over and told him, Inamura-san, big fan. He's like, thanks. Thank you very much. He wasn't as big as I thought he'd be, because he looks like a monster on Noah TV, but he's a little bit shorter than me. But I am large, so I am 6'3". I must take that into account anytime I meet a wrestler. But incredibly friendly,
tremendously chunky gentleman. I feel like he's thick, similar to Sekimoto in that manner.
Yeah, very big, thick boy. But yeah, very nice. The other guy who runs Progress, or one of the owners, he actually took the picture for me, so it's very cool. Oh. And yeah, 3 other things I want to mention. The people I met, I got to meet Haku. Ooh. I got to meet Aja Kong, and I met Vlad, the fucking super fan.
Oh man, that is an all-timer right there. Did you tell Vlad about all of the times you watched his head while watching Raw back in the day in the Manhattan Center?
I didn't talk to him very long. I walked by and I turned around and I go, holy shit, are you Vlad? And him and his buddy's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, awesome, Vlad, you rule. And then I had to run away.
I love that a dude like that, like thanks to that documentary they finally put out after all those fucking years, finally
I still haven't
released
seen it. I
it.
need to check it out. Yeah,
I haven't
just
watched it
the
either,
gray
but I
one.
really want to. But I've heard great things about it. But I think it's so good for that dude who obviously has such a love for wrestling. Now he has like people that are like, oh, and he's got like sort of a bit of fame out of it. I think that's way cool.
Fans of fans.
Yeah, what a weird world we live in.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that I think brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us for this slightly elongated edition.
You picked three matches, Chris. You picked 3 matches.
I did. Well, we got through it, and I had a bloody great time. So thank you so much, my friend. This has been a joyous thing for me.
I agree. I concur. Thank you so much, and till we meet again, friends.
I still don't know how to end the show. What do we say now?
I thought that was a pretty good one. You didn't have to talk. I know it's your show, but you didn't necessarily have to close it. Until we meet again, friends.
I do the hammerlock. Do the hammerlock, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the hammerlock. I do the hammerlock. Everybody's doing it. Do the eye gouge. Yeah, do the eye gouge. Do the eye gouge, you turkey necks. Yeah, do the eye gouge. I do the eye gouge. Everybody's doing it. Okay, you turkey necks.
Oh, nice.
Well done. That felt good.
All right, pal. It's been real. Talk soon.
Thanks, dude.
Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Greedy corporate mega stores, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a law in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. The Durbin-Marshall credit card bill would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, tell your lawmakers, hands off my rewards. Tell them to oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill.